So in this video, I'm going to show you a quick and simple way of painting Stormcast Eternals. It's one of the ways I paint my own Stormcast. Like I said, it's very quick, very easy, and it means you get more models on the battlefield quicker to slaughter your enemies, which is a bonus. Now, as always, I'm going to start off by undercoating the models with a spray paint. Now, if you don't have a spray paint, that's fine. You can always use whatever undercoat you've got and then just base coat it with a gold or a silver. And if you have an airbrush, you can do that as well. Now, in this guide, I'm going to do two versions, one from a gold undercoat and one from a silver undercoat. And then we'll take you through some steps on like shading them and highlighting them. Basically, what we're going to do is just reverse the scheme from the silver one to the gold one. After that, just follow the rest of the guide to do all the other details like the leather, the cloth, the face, etc. Now, our first example is using a lead belcher undercoat. And from this, we'll be picking out the gold details using AK Interactive Bronze. Most of the trim and sculpted shoulder pads and knee pads. So just check over the model if you're not sure. Now, the reason why I've used AK Interactive Bronze is it matches the color scheme perfectly for the gold I used on my own collection. Now, I was a bit naughty. I mixed paints. I know, I mixed paints. I got some Retributor armor and iron and steel and it made the perfect sort of Liberator gold kind of tone. Now, Liberator Gold's a fine colour for layering, but it's not great for base coating. However, AK Interactive Bronze is perfect and just matches it identically, so there's no mixing required. Now, from our gold undercoat, which is Retributor armor, what we're going to do now is just pick out any silver details with iron hand steel. Again, we're looking at picking out the trim, sculpted shoulder pads, etc. Now, to add some detail and definition and also age to the gold or silver armor, depending which one you're going with, we're going to be coating over the entire model with GRYPH-CHARGER Grey. Now, be mindful, you will start to pull near the bottom, just get a brush, dry it off and soak off any excess. Now, I am coating this all over the model and you'll notice I'm placing it onto the robes as well. That's fine because when you spray with metallic, sometimes it can have a bit of an oily finish. So what this is going to do is just add a little bit of, grip to those base paints when you start applying them after. Now what we're going to do is highlight both that gold and silver in one dry brush, and we're using STORMHOST silver here, so all we're going to do is just gently brush that over those details, so it's more of a light dry brush. I'd like to say we're going to tickle it. That's what we're going to do. We're going to tickle the model with a dry brush.
So this is where the differences end between our models. All the next steps are completely the same, so we're focusing on the silver guy.
Next up is to pick out the cloth, and for this we'll be using MACRAGGE blue. So all we're going to do is do a couple of layers of MACRAGGE blue over the skirts of this model as well as this cloak. For the weapon hafts, we'll be using Baraknar Burgundy. Now, the weapon hafts will vary from model to model. It might be a spear, it might be a hammer. This guy's a big double-handed hammer, so there's a lot more of it showing. For all the black leather details, such as the belts and undersuits, we should just be applying that with Black Legion. And once that's dry, I am not going to touch the black or the belts again. Now, for the skin tones, you can use whatever skin tone you want. In this particular one, I'm going to be using Blood Reaver Flesh. Just going to do a couple of coats over that skin. Once we've coated over the skin with a base coat, we're going to use some Gulliman Flesh. Now, for this particular skin tone, I'm just going to use it straight from the pot. If you go for a lighter one, you might want to do a couple of thin coats of it instead, just to build up a subtle definition.
Going back to GRYPH-CHARGER Grey, we're going to shade the blue cloak and any other metallic elements that might need some more definition, like the gold writing on his leg.
To give our blades or hammers a nice azurite glow, all we're going to do here is get some frost art straight from the pot and apply it over. And for any gems, again, these will vary from model to model. All I'm going to do is just pick those out with BAAL red, again, straight from the pot. Now we've got some base coats, shades, and a little bit of a highlight on the armor on our model. They're pretty much ready for the tabletop. All we need to do is base them up. And we're just going to go for like a bit of a masonry and dirty feel. On this particular model, we have some sculpted detail, and you'll find this on some of the Stormcast models across the range. In this particular one, all we're going to do is just pick out that masonry with MECHANICUS standard grey. Next up is to apply Aggro Earth over those texture details. That's just the dirt surrounding this base here. I'm using that neat straight from the pot, and then I just need to give it around about an hour or so to dry up. I'm also going to be applying a thin down coat of this over the grey masonry, as that will settle in quite nicely and give it a sense of age. And now we shall apply Gulliman Flesh over the Aggro Earth texture to add some definition to that too. And I'm just going to feather it in a little bit with an old dry brush here, just to give it a bit more gradient. And last of all, we're just going to rim the base with 3 thin coats of Steel Legion DRAB. And this will give it a nice smooth finish. And as you can see, our quick and easy way of painting Stormcast Eternals has got them ready for the tabletop. So they're all base, they've got some base coats on and some highlights. So great. Now, if you are enjoying this video, don't forget to hit the subscribe and the like button. And we also have a Patreon as well. So do support us on that, because that helps keep the lights on, keeps me infused with tea. However, if you want to take your Stormcast Eternal to the next level, then stay tuned. Now, this is mainly for like things like Sergeants, Unit Champions and characters. But if you've got time and you play Warcry like me, do it on all of them, because it makes them look mega. So let's crack on with that. Now, to bring some shine back to our metallics, what we're going to do is just gently wash over with a thin down coat. Firstly, of gold. So again, it's kind of like a tidy up stage, but just on some of the raised sections, so you're not having to get in all those recesses. So do that with the gold first, and we're going to do the same on the silver sections as well.
Using iron and steel, highlight the edges of the hammer to bring back some of that metallic shine and redefine the shape.
Now what we're going to do is get some MACRAGGE blue and just tidy up those robes, just to add a bit more punch to that blue. And then for extra definition, we're going to highlight those over with CALGAR blue. Again, just be mindful, try and get your brush to a nice point where possible. For the skin, we're just going to tidy up those raised areas as well. Again, here, all I'm going to be using is the base colour again to tidy up, and as you can see, it's giving it a nice highlight. But if you want to use a lighter tone, you're more than welcome to. And then we're just going to put some Black Legion into those eyes, and also just drop some into his mouth as well. Now, this last bit is completely optional. All I'm going to be doing here is getting some TYPHUS corrosion, just weathering up the robes, and also from the knee downwards on the armour. Again, I'm going to thin it down in some places, and I'm just going to weather in and stab. And as you can see on the cloak, I'm just starting to blend that. Once I've applied it neat from the pot, get an old brush and just feather it in a little bit. And there we are, we've taken our Stormcast Eternals to the next level, added a few details. Now again, if you're short on time, or you just don't want to, just keep it to characters, or just leave them as they are. I mean, it's nice to have it on characters because it makes them rocking the best outfits. It's entirely up to you. Personal, no, I'm not going to come knocking on your door. Why have you not highlighted them? Dave, why have you not highlighted them, Dave? Now, I have a whole bunch of links in the description. We also have a nice paint list in the description, so you can follow along with all the paints that we've used. Well, I hope you found this video enjoyable, and again, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. We also have a Patreon channel as well, so the support on that will be super awesome. Again, keeping the lights on, keeping us hydrated. But also, we get loads of cool extra content like Discord. We've got all sorts of extra little behind the scenes, and also, if you really want to, paint with Peachy for 2 hours. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'm off to be reforged into something more superior and better. Apparently, a painter that doesn't use paint straight from the pot. Apparently, that's bad. So, I love you all. See you later. Toodle pip. Bye-bye.